Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic, and this is another reaction to the Monogatari series. It is Owarimonogatari, episode 10. It's still Shinobu Male, and you know what to do. As always, if you want to see the reaction itself, go down into my descriptions, follow the links, replace the circumflex dot parts with real dots, and enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back here. Here are my thoughts about this episode. So, see you soon. For those that came back, welcome back. Now, I'm not sure. I had the feeling I did not react very much this time, which is mainly because I was very focused on what was going on, because Gaen is giving, in my opinion, a lot of informations, which in many cases, many ways, I cannot connect yet. But I really had the feeling that there's a lot she is saying, a lot of possibly spoilers even. So that's why I was very, very focused. And there was not very many moments of surprise in positive or negative way. So that's why. I wrote down quite a lot, and well, let's go through it. There were many interesting scenes, in my opinion, very many possible finger pointings towards things that happened or are happening or will happen, as example this picture, but that is very much up to interpretation. So first off, we started with what I thought was partially a crab and the other part just the suit that the monkey wore in the past, but no, it really was a mix of the monkey on the one side and the crab on the other side. And when it was destroyed, additionally, the snake came in. So, I mean, this cannot be coincidence, no matter what. It just makes no sense that just by weird circumstance, those three creatures bind into an aberration that then just by accident or not encounters Aragi. So, as I say, it clearly is something designed to go after him. The question still is, who did it? Because now we have Gaen in the boat as well. And although it seems like she's caring and wants to help, I still do not trust her enough to not see the option that it might be her that is behind some of this stuff that's happening. In the end, they slayed it with the blade, fittingly. But seeing that, even more, the question appears for me: why was this, whatever you want to call it, proto-apparition, damaged apparition, something before an apparition, as Kiss Shot mentioned it. So she, on the one side, she said it is something in the state of becoming an apparition, and later on she said that it is like a damaged or a defective apparition. So if the samurai cloth darkness, if the first of Shinobu's servants would have done it, he would have known that it would be destroyed, because he knows the sword. He knows enough about Shinobu and enough about his own sword to know that this apparition will be killed easily by this weapon. So why send it? That's one thing. If, as example, Gaen sends it, she knows enough just like he does. So it seems more like it is a push towards doing something, towards acting. Like someone is like, you have to do something now, see you are being attacked. I am still not sure why. So that was a weird thing. And as Aragi very good recognized, he just saw question marks there. It is just a miracle. It is unclear, a riddle, why this is there. So we will see. Shinobu mentioned that the monkey that she was attacked by in the past was able to control the rain, and that made problems towards her. So this is a way weaker version which is fitting. So someone just threw together like a weird magician or a Frankenstein doctor, who just is like testing stuff. So very unclear there. Shinobu thought that the thing that had the encounter with Araragi and Kambaru was not the samurai, was not her first servant. In many ways, I think because she just don't want to believe it, and she saw him die, and as it was pointed out, it is very unlikely to come back like that when you are crisped by the sun as a vampire. So he was completely gone. My guess was that he came back due to the darkness. And it looked a lot like that, you know, the parts between the armor looked a lot like the darkness. But it seems there's a different theory here from Gaen. And Shinobu is thinking that there's no way he can come back at all. So there are multiple options. I think Gaen is possibly telling us the truth. What I have to question is if she's telling us the complete truth or just a part of it. Because that's the thing. You're not lying. You're just not saying everything. And that she is willing to do that, that she's willing to even lie actively, not just avoid some truths, is when she says that she's the younger sister of Hoshino Meme. Which we know is not true. We know that she has another name. So, I take everything she says with a bit of salt. With a bit of a wary eye. Not that I will be able to really be sure what is the truth and what not. That is really not easy. I like the way that she interacted, and she, especially in the end of the episode, informed us about what's going on. This image of her being larger than life in the city, like Godzilla or a super being, something bigger than everyone else, which is fittingly. So question is she that in her own view, or is that the view of Araragi? Because it tells something about her. Is it Araragi viewing her as being larger than life and by knowing more, you know? Or is it herself that is reflecting herself as just being bigger? Because that is a way that we all know can lead to problems. So, but it was nicely done. I like it. I still don't completely get over this weird concept of her. This grown-up woman, older than most of the others we have encountered in the show, but wearing stuff and behaving at least partially like a way younger woman. And the only thing that changes this outer appearance, which very much reminds me of Pokemon, by the way, you know, the cap and everything. The one thing that kind of crashes it is this necklace that she has, this pearl band around her neck. So she is weird, not in the meaning of weird. She is someone who is not easy to look through, in my opinion. I like that she pointed out that the samurai was the first servant of Shinobu, and at the same time the first aberration killer. So he is the predecessor for both of them, for Araragi and for Shinobu, and that is something that she clearly cannot stand, that Shinobu doesn't like to hear, which I can understand. She in many ways is very self-centered. So truth there. And the fact that he revives now, she did a good bridge to Araragi by pointing out that he survived and healed up from sun damage as well. So why not the other one? Sure, he was way more destroyed by it, but the regeneration ability of a vampire is still there. The question for me is, it seems like this is not a linked ability to Shinobu, as Shinobu and Araragi have. he is a full-fledged vampire himself, so he is not directly linked anymore, it seems. And the concept that he, in the last 500 years, revived and got burned by the sun again, revived, got burned endlessly, you know, an endless cycle, we can only guess how often. The question is, how much of it did he realize? How much of it did he feel? And what does that make with someone? I mean, you can be sane and strong as ever you want if you're being, in the end, killed, possibly with a lot of pain, I guess. And you go through that again and again and again, an endless circle. That will do something to your mind. I mean, there has to be. And possibly he will blame it on Shinobu. Possibly. But maybe I'm wrong and he's a bigger man, a greater being than he even seemed before. I mean, he was a good man. He was kind of a hero in the past. And maybe he's even more than just that. Maybe we'll be surprised and he will be like, I just want my blade back. I wish you a good life. Goodbye. I need the blade to kill myself. That's it. Why not? Might be an option. He cannot die by the sun, so try the blade instead. That might be an option I see there. It might as well go as possibly many suspect. He wants the blade to kill Shinobu and everyone else that comes his way. I'm not sure. I somehow feel like the first one would be an interesting ending, a nice ending. But it would clearly state that he's a way bigger man than, well, more than everyone else in the show right now. Sorry. Oh yeah. Then there was a sentence from, once again, from Gan. Regarding Aragi. Knowing everything doesn't mean all works out for you. So it is that she knows everything, but she cannot, at the moment, but she cannot say completely, if I set the rails into this direction, what will be the results exactly. Because people tend to misbehave. They act differently than in the past. So you can only guess so much. There is turbulence. So that is nice to know and good to know, if it is true. Because that lowers her ability, which is overwhelming, to just incredibly good instead of godlike, you know? And it seems especially Koyumi, so especially Aragi is someone that Koyumi? I have to search again. Koyumi, correct. Is someone, she is not so good at guessing or knowing what he will act like. As I said, true or not true, always have a grain of salt here. She, and I really waited for her to finish this sentence. I really did. Started a sentence like, you do not really think that, and then she started like an endless sentence. All those aberrations here in the city appear within some month once you got powers by accident. Shinobu is in this city during your break by accident. All this stuff is happening. Your one girl, which is a cat, being as she is by accident, or Shinobu maybe possibly being there, her being there, you know, all of this stuff. So she points like, there is a reason, and then she doesn't finish the sentence, and I'm like, what the heck? Don't leave me hanging. But I mean, it makes sense. This is a question I gotta ask myself already. I mean, if it is like that, as we've seen in the last seasons, everywhere, what the heck is this world? How do we still exist, you know? So there is a lot of it now centering around in the city, and Gain says it is no surprise. Something caused that to happen. The question is it centered around Aragi? Is he somehow special? Or is it not so much about him, but about something or someone else? So she points out she knows that. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. And her cliffhanger in the ending kind of feels like it has something to do with the samurai, that he 15 years ago started something that now has all those results. Might very well be. Would be interesting. I hope we will learn next episode. Then I realized, I'm not sure if it is important, but she has 2 phones. So she has the green phone and she has a black one. So I checked, and I'm pretty sure the green one she used to communicate with the Ononoki, while stuff that she did show to Aragi and the others was on the black phone. Might not be important. Might be. Don't know. You know, like the secret phone is a green one where internals are on contacts, and the black one is just for general stuff. It might be so much else. Just I realized that. And then we have this picture here, as I mentioned. So there was this moment when she flipped the figure of Oshinomeme from the top of this house, the interior of this house. And saying at the same time what we see here, resentfully enough, yours truly, talking about herself, isn't as tolerant as this immature man. So there are multiple things. He's immature, he's not grown up in her opinion. She is not as tolerant as him, which may mean about Aragi and what he does. So there's a little threat in there. It may mean towards Oshinomeme as well. So, and by flicking him off, it might be just, you know, a little statement. But I thought, like, we haven't seen Oshinomeme in quite a while. And it is sad that he left the town and he wanted to, you know. I asked myself how much with it was reasoning in her. So, is she kind of a threat to him? Did she something to him? Those options are in there. You can speculate as much as you want as well. I mean, this is a gesture. If you do something like that, you play chess and you flip over the enemy king. It is a gesture which says, I won, I beat you. So she, at least it seems to me, she clearly feels like a superior or a stronger one towards Oshinomeme. And I have the question, did she do something to him? Or did she, as example, force his leave of the town? I see this as an option. Yes, that's what I wrote down. So we ended off with the cliffhanger of the samurai being turned into ashes again and again, in her opinion, and making its way over time back to Japan and to this city, which he is in now, where Aragi lives, 15 years ago, which means he is there since 15 years. And he did something there, which she says. So he, just searching, that was what happened 15 years ago. By the way, head tilt. So what happened 15 years ago? Aragi is older than 15 years, so it is not his birth. However, he's someone who can be influenced. There are many of the characters of this show living in this city at this time, so possibly he, just as example, his dust was over the city, and he spread himself over the city, and by doing so, like, focused aberration energy. Just saying as an option. Or he mingled in there, and some of his maybe like all aberrations are a part of him, or he is a part of every aberration. All this is possible. I can only speculate wildly here. However, I'm pretty sure we will learn very soon. And that's an interesting one. Last but not least, nice picture in the end. I've seen it, I like it. The last story arc, cool picture. So we have the 3 of them sitting around a table talking about the problems that are there in the past of Aragi with Euler, with Sodachi Oikura. And a little bit like the architect in Matrix. Very fittingly, the good Oshinogi is there watching them from the wall, and even her arms, or at least something like her arms, is hanging in there. So cool picture. I like that. Someone who really did a good job. That's it for this time. I hope you liked. Hope you can find something for yourself in my speculations. As always, they're running wild. And I will see you in the next episode. And until then, feel free to comment, like, subscribe. Feel free to visit my Patreon, my Facebook page, my MyAnimeList page as well, which I will have to check again, I just realized. And that's it from me this time. See you next time. My name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.